In this video, we'll be going over how to perform a basic app health check. So we'll start by clicking on the Configuration tab and selecting the app settings. From here, we'll be looking to verify a couple of important points. We'll start first by checking that the verified status is set to green, and that is true for the API URL, for the API token, and also to make sure that the Splunk Enterprise Security Integration toggle has been either set to on or off. If it has been set to on, then there's some additional configuration that will need to be completed, and we have a link to that particular install feature there. Also, there is the IOC enrichment mode, whether you've set that to the real-time data or the cached data, bearing in mind that cached data can be outdated. And finally, it's from this particular page that we find the log levels, and that's how we can set those log levels to either debug, informational, and or warning. But for this example, we're going to leave things on debug. Moving on, our next step is to set up a correlation, and we're going to choose one that has already been made. So clicking on the Correlations tab, we'll scroll down this page and select the most typical one, which is for the default IP. So we'll click on the Edit button first and take a moment there. Once loaded, what we're looking to do is make sure that this page first of all starts with a title, in this case the default IP. We're selecting the risk list, which is also called the default IP, and we'll move down, and at this point this is for the user to make sure that the correct event source type has been entered. So in this case it's a NetScreen firewall, and the event field we're looking to correlate and match against is the source field. We can also see the search as a preview and click on that drop down to review the SPL directly. Once happy and satisfied, we could save this as a correlation, and then we can review that quite immediately as its content. So to see that, we'll then head over to the Alert Center, select Correlations. We'll then click on the IOC type for IP, select the default IP for that correlation, matching the name that we've input, and give it a moment to populate. And we can see that this is working. There has been data which is downloaded and is matching against internal logs. We'll next review the datasets. So once the datasets menu has loaded, make sure that the This Apps filter has been set, and scroll down the screen, and typically what we're looking for is the risk list downloaded. So we have two types. That's the actual risk list lookup definition and a lookup table as a CSV file, which is clickable, and we can look at that data directly. So giving it a moment to populate, we can see here the types of information that's available in the CSV, matching the evidence details, a column for the MITRE tags and codes, the IOC type itself with a header of name, the risk score, the rule counts, and the rule totals. Once selected, we'll then want to look at a live enrichment call. So we'll test that with an IP directly. So I'll be entering in a specific IP here that I know will perform a live call and produce some data. So once I've entered that IP, I'll then click on the Submit button and give it a moment to populate. And of course, really what we're looking here is just to make sure that some data has come back and that we're able to see the content of the intelligence provided by Recorded Future directly within Splunk. And that is working, so that's been a successful call from the API. Moving on now, we'll be checking the alerting rules. So we'll be clicking on them underneath the configuration. And what we should be seeing here is a population of all of the rules available, but most importantly, we're checking the toggles have been set to which alerts we directly want to see within the datasets. So with those being toggled and active, our next step is to click on the Alert Center. And in the General Alert Center, this is another area where we can review all of the alerts. We'll do a quick filter for the last hour, just to review that content. And so here we have alerts which have been generated by all forms of configurations that have been made via the app. And in this case, these are the actual alerts from the configuration rules themselves. And the next step is to check the recorded future alerts and make sure those have been populated. So again, clicking on that specific tab and giving it, again, a little bit more time to populate, that should generate all of the toggled alerts that have been turned on. And so at the top one here, Global Vulnerability Risk, New and Critical Pre-NVD Vulnerabilities. We can see this information has come through directly from the portal, and moreover, matching the portal content, the rest of those alerts that have been generated. That's it. Thank you very much.